on my way to Naivasha for a diagnostic call on a Land Cruiser for one of my clients. It's kind of a distress call. He needs to be in Nairobi tomorrow morning, but his car refused to start. And this is part of what I do, out of town diagnostics. Regular diagnostic charge, I just add a short charge for the fuel that brings me here. I like these ones because you get to enjoy beautiful scenery as we're going for a diagnostic, very therapeutic. So on our way there, and we'll see you when we get there. Alright, we made it, and we have a 2002 Toyota Land Cruiser VZJ120. This car has a dead battery, and what he told me is he tried to start it yesterday. Lights came on the dash, nothing happened. Prior to that, he had driven back home, no problem, and he just parked it in the morning, refused to start. And then I told him to do a very quick test, smacking the starter, just to find out if I should come down here and just replace the starter. But in the evening, when he came back, he told me the car was completely dead and that he could not depress the brake pedal or get it out of park. First thing I want to do is to check voltage, and we only have 2 volts. That is not good at all. So basically, whatever happened here, it completely depleted the battery. This is not a normal drain. This battery is just 1 month old, so we may have something other than just a starting issue. So let me get this thing on the charger and charge it up, and then I'm going to try and start the car from there. I'll just use my car to charge the battery for now, and then we'll proceed. Oh, and look at this view. This is heavenly. Really nice. This is what makes me love my job. Okay, let's proceed. We hooked up to the charge, and that's our charging voltage, 13.4. Let's just see how much current we are taking. I hope this battery isn't messed up. And zero the clamp. And we are taking 14 amps. That's a good sign. So this battery is going to come back to life. I'm really concerned though. Why did this battery die? This is a very high capacity battery too. Okay. Let's give it about 20 minutes, and then we're going to try and start this car. We've been charging for about 15 minutes. Let's put the key on. Everything looks good here, and we're going to try and start it. Oh, wasn't expecting that. This engine has started. Okay, I want to go and check whether we're charging the battery. I'm a bit confused here. Look at that, we have full charging voltage. Man, I'm confused. Let me go back to the current. DC, zero that. I don't know why it's saying overload. We try that again. Oh, I know why it's saying overload. I'm taking more than 40 amps. Let me change to 400 amps. Yep, that was what it was. And there's my charging. We're charging at a whopping 47 amps. Wow. That's quite a healthy alternator we have here. And quite a dead battery too. So like I said, this battery is 1 month old and it is a very high capacity battery. So we are going to let this charge, but I'm really confused. I was expecting to come here and do a no-start diagnosis, but this thing has started right up. This alternator is healthy enough to put out 33 amps to the battery. This battery is very good because it's taking 33 amps. Nothing wrong with the battery, nothing wrong with my alternator. Evidence is telling me that this is a depleted voltage issue. I think our battery voltage just depleted and that's why it could not start the car. So I'm going to change direction and follow this evidence. I'm going to let this battery charge, and once it's at a healthy charge, I want to do a current draw test and find out if we have a parasitic draw on this battery. I think that's what we have, and that will match his symptoms, because right now I cannot seem to duplicate this no start, and charging system seems to be okay. So let me let this thing charge up and we do a battery current draw test. So we've been charging for half an hour. The battery is still taking 14 amps right now. This battery was completely dead. No big deal. Now we're going to do a current draw test. I'm going to shut off the car, hook up my current clamp, and see what this car takes when it's going to sleep. Now, I've been burnt by current draw tests. There is a video coming up of a Honda CR-V where I messed up. I'm going to tell you something. You do a current draw test, do not touch anything. Don't roll down the windows, don't operate the radio, don't touch anything. Just shut down the car exactly how the customer found it. Don't touch any seats, don't touch any buttons. You want to find the current draw on your first try. This Honda CR-V I'm talking about took me 3 weeks of fiddling around, and it's because when I came I dropped the window, and that made all the difference. So don't touch anything. We're just going to put the key off, remove the key from the ignition, close this door, and he said he does not arm the alarm or close the doors. We're going to leave it exactly like that, and then I'm going to go to the battery, disconnect it, and set up my amp clamp. There's my amp meter setup. Make sure you're on the right ports, very important. Make sure you're in the right scale, also important. That's my current draw right now, and we're just going to wait for the car to completely go to sleep, and then we will see if this goes down. I'm familiar with this car. It goes down to 0.02 milliamps. And how do I know? He has another identical car right there, and I've already checked it. Same year, same model. What are the odds of that? Anyway, let's wait. Well, folks, it's been 10 minutes, and check this out. We're exactly the same amperage. Bingo, we have a current draw on this car. So now I know what happened. The first time he called me, he said the dash was coming on. He had no click, no starter action at all. Then he called me. I told him to go and whack on the starter and see what happens. He said that he had a conference to attend. 24 hours later, he came to work on the starter, but he said now the dash was dead. That draw will kill this battery in just about 48 hours, which was the time it took. So the first time, what I believe happened is when he came, the dash was coming on, but we had low voltage. And on this particular model, if you have less than, I believe, 9 volts or less than 10 volts, the starter is not authorized. And I think that's what happened. Then the second time, when he went for a conference, this continued happening, and that was enough to finish this battery off. Luckily, this has happened only once. His new battery did survive, but if this happens multiple times, where you deplete a new battery 5-6 times, it's done for. So I've opened the fuse box, and I'm going to set up the camera, and now we're going to find out who is consuming this current. So my method of checking these fuses is by doing a voltage drop test on the fuse. So I have my 2 meters, that's still taking my amperage, and this one is taking my voltage, and I want to see no voltage drop on a fuse. For example, if I test this fuse here, that goes to 0. That's what I want to see. I've done it for all the fuses, and I only have 2 fuses that have a voltage drop. There's one right here, 3.2 millivolts, and there's one right here, 0.5 millivolts. Everything else is 0. My 2 fuses are this one, that's the one that has the major draw, and this one, that's the one that has the minor draw. I'm going to pull this one out since it has quite a large voltage drop. There's a fuse puller here, but these never work for me. I struggle, they're fiddly. I don't like them. I'm just going to use my trusty old carved pliers here, and let's watch our current as I pull it out, and there it is. Check that out. We go to 0.084 amps. That's still too high. I do not like that. So I'm going to set this fuse aside, and let's now come and pull the other one, or let's just wait a bit and see if this will go down. Sometimes all it takes is to remove one fuse and then the system resets. Let's wait for a short while. Okay, we've waited long enough. So next fuse is this one, and we're going to pull it. Bingo! There is our nominal current draw, 0.018 of an amp. Set that to the side, and now let's see which two fuses these are. Fuse 1 that we've pulled with our major draw is this one, the dome fuse. Fuse 2 we've pulled with our minor draw is this one, a CUB fuse. Let's pull up a wiring diagram, power distribution, and I want to see what these two serve. This is our manual, service manual. Toyota called it the electronic technical manual. We're going to go to a wiring diagram. Now these Japanese diagrams, they are a bit finicky. You would think that you would find your power distribution under body and electrical, but look at this, nothing there. And if you look under connector, fuse and ground, also nothing there. Let me just translate this. Also nothing there. You may think it's under fuse load, but these just give the individual fuses and what they are designated for. To find a power distribution in these Japanese service manuals, it is actually under the engine power supply. That's where you'll find it. And that's our power distribution. Now we want to find where these fuses are. The fuse that we pulled, one is ECUB and the other one is dome. So this just shows that it's connected directly to battery positive because we are on this major power rail and we are connected to battery positive. So dome and ECUB. So they are completely independent circuits, which means we have two separate current draws. So we have a major one on the 10 amp dome, we have a minor one on the ECUB. Now we exit out of here and we now go to the connector, fuse and ground, and we're going to go to our fuse load. Let's go to the dome fuse, and we have only three: key warning, combination meter and interior lamp. Let me go to the key warning. So we have a dome fuse, and the dome fuse is going to this right here. What is this? This is the combination meter. So in the combination meter, we have the chime CPU, okay? And also we have the gauge fuse. All right, now let's just go back. You see here again, the dome fuse feeds the combination meter and the interior lamp. Let me focus on the combination meter for now. I know this is not translated, bear with me. I just want to see my dome fuse. So there's my dome fuse. It feeds the combination meter again. So is my combination meter having an issue where it's draining the battery? Let me go to the gauge fuse and disconnect it and then see if my draw will go away. If my draw goes away, then something in that cluster is gone wonky. Now this is strange. I didn't notice this before. All doors are closed, and I've verified that. But look at my door ajar light. It's illuminated. It's behaving like a door is open. I just want to verify again that all doors are closed. Let me just go around and shut the doors one by one. I know the hood does not have a switch on this model. And do not forget the back. Okay. And close that. Make sure that's closed. And before I open the door, I just want to focus on the meter. And sure enough, we still have our that on. Okay, so we have a fault somewhere. And is this fault in the cluster, or is it in one of the door jamb switches? I don't know. None of the door see that? So this is the courtesy for the front. It's off. Courtesy for the rear left. It's off. Rear right. Off. And front. Down there. Oh, check that out. We have a lamp on. I think we found it. Okay, so we have a lamp that's on, but our courtesy is off. So what's up with that lamp down there? That's a step lamp. Why is the step lamp on? And why do we have this going on? We've just found our current draw, and as you can see, we maintain at 0.5. I just want to rule out that the cluster has anything to do with this. So what I want to do is, oh, there's another lamp that's on. Wow, look at that. That is the lamp for the footwell. So my footwell lamp is on. Okay, so my footwell lamp is on. My courtesy, my step lamp is on. We're on the right track. Very nice. So this is an illumination problem. I do not have time to troubleshoot this right now. I need to continue this at home. What I need to do is to solve this right now so that it doesn't drain this battery overnight. This is an elderly gentleman. I can't tell him, well, connect the battery before you leave. Nah, that's not going to be good. For now, I want to pull the fuse for the illumination. But first, let me pull this fuse for the cluster. And I just want to make sure that this cluster is not the one that's pulling quite heavy. Oh, here it is. There's my gauge fuse, 7.5 amps. 1, 2, 3. Let's pull it. There it is. Now it's out. We'll close the door. Go and look at the meter. And our problem is not the combination meter. So those step lamps are not going off. Let me quickly find out, or let me just pull the illumination lamps. He won't need them during the day, and this will stop his problem temporarily, and then I will find out what happens when he brings the car, because he's flying out tomorrow. He will leave the car in Nairobi and I will have it with me and I will diagnose this issue further. Now this gets more interesting. I come here to interior lamp. Look at our interior lamps. We have a map lamp. We have a vanity lamp, left hand, vanity lamp, right hand. We have the room lamp, the luggage compartment lamp, the courtesy lamp, front left, courtesy lamp, front, rear right, courtesy lamp, rear left, and courtesy lamp, front right. We do not have any step lamps in this vehicle. Neither do we have a footwell lamp. But these lamps are present and they're illuminated. Let me just show you this. There we have one footwell lamp right here. And this lamp is on that's staying on. And then we have right here, turn this on, right here, there, that guy is our footwell lamp, and it's also on, and these lamps are not going off. Are these aftermarket? I think they are, because they're not in our wiring diagram. Let me see what kind of oh yeah, these are aftermarket lamps. Okay, now I need to find out where these lamps are hooked to, but they're not going off. Oh yeah, this is definitely not. Look at that. This is definitely not factory. So these are aftermarket lamps. Fantastic. So I will need to remove these, but first I need to find out where they are hooked. And I think they are, oh yeah, look, we have another one here, and this one has collapsed. So it's definitely not the original. Now we know why we are drawing. The only thing is, I don't know how these are hooked. I do not have time to chase aftermarket wiring. Right now, I'm just going to disconnect the dome fuse, and I'm going to warn him that there are a few lights that won't work inside, and he will have to be prepared for that. Then I will troubleshoot this when I have some good time when the car is in the shop. Alright, so let's just take out our dome fuse, pull it out, set that aside, and let me quickly now address why do we have a 0.084 on our ECU B line, which is this one. Well, he made it to Nairobi. We're at the workshop at my place, and in case you're wondering why I couldn't just continue this in Naivasha, number one, it was getting dark, and I live 2.5 hours away, and long distance driving at night doesn't give me a lot of peace. I could not concentrate. So now that we're here in a workshop environment where I have no stress and I'm not in a hurry, we can do this nicely. So where we left off was our dome fuse was taking up excessive current, and our ECU B fuse was taking up minor current. Focus on one at a time. We're going to focus on the dome fuse. So what we're going to do is come here to our service manual, Go to wiring. And we're going to go to the connector and fuse load. And we're going to go to the dome. And what I want to see is everything connected to the dome. So go to the warning, key warning. Dome is here. It goes through GA5. So I'm going to write that down. And we're also going to get the location of GA5. Okay. The other one is the combination meter. So this will be, there's our dome fuse, again through GA5. That's the same connector. All right. Third one is our interior lamp. On the interior lamp, we have our dome fuse here. So we have it again going to the combination meter. Then the other input is on the body computer. Body computer in this car is the main fuse box. So we have an input on YE, and no, I'm not saying that wrong. This is not a T, that's a Japanese symbol, and it's pronounced Yi. So we have an input on YE, and then we have several outputs. The first output is on YA pin 4 red. Second output is on YA pin 19 white. And the third output is on YJ pin 22 red. Fourth output is on YA pin 9 white. We're going to write those down. And then we want to find out on this body computer, is the output on the front or on the back? Where are these connectors? Exit out of here. And we go back. Component locations, and we are going to go to our instrument panel outfitting diagram first to get the wire to wire, which is GA5. And that was on outfit 3. And if we search here, GA5, there's our location for GA5. So we're going to write that down. Exit out of this, and then go to our relay location. We look for the junction box. That's in the instrument panel. Junction box, that's this one. So why there are two here is the front face and the back face. Front face, we have YE, which is here. That's YE. And then we also have a YA. That's this one here. And those are the only two that are on the front. So the other one was YJ. It's not here. Let's go to the rear. And YJ is here. Okay, so we're going to write all those down, and then once we've written them down, we're going to go to those locations, and I'll tell you what we'll do next. So we're ready for our test. There's my notes written down, and I've already removed this panel, and this is the main computer / fuse box. Now we do have a large amperage draw right now, and that's because the door is open. I'm not going to contort myself in the vehicle and keep the doors closed. So we need to either clamp this off, but I do not have those wide C-clamps. What I do know though is that this supplies a ground when the door is open. So all I have to do is to unbolt this. Unbolt that, and that is the same as our door closed. I don't want to lose this bolt. Just put it back here. I'm just going to leave that hanging. Make sure it doesn't touch because the ground is at the back. Very simple method of doing that. And wait for our amperage to drop up until 500 millivolts, and to confirm that our switch is off, our courtesy light is off. All right, let's just wait a bit for our car to go to sleep completely, and then we're going to proceed. We are completely asleep. Key is out of the ignition, and I have my connector profile over there. So what I want to do is to start with the front connectors. The idea is if I unplug this connector and the current is going through one of those wires, my current draw should go away on my meter. I'm not going to start with this one. These are easy to get to. So let me start with YE. And again, YE is there, right there, which is this one here. And this is a rat's nest. I do not like what I'm seeing already. Let me get a cutter and cut this off. And why don't we like aftermarket wiring? This is why. Wastes our time. Actually, I should just tell him to remove all this aftermarket crap in here. It'll be easier for all of us, because I don't like what I'm seeing already. This is an elderly gentleman. He's very understanding. I honestly don't think he even knows all this stuff is in his car. Oh, what is this? Let me get a pick. There is our connector out, and looky, we have a drop. First try, and we have our connector. Now, this connector has a lot of junk connected to it. And I can see something here. I can see something here. What is this? What's all this? Look at this. Should I even continue troubleshooting this thing, or should I just remove all this aftermarket wiring? There's so much junk inside here. What's all this? Look at that. There is this T that is on the... I don't like this. I was going to show you guys a very cool way of troubleshooting, but considering all this, let me just call the owner of this car and ask him whether I should remove this, and I'll bet you, knowing the kind of character he is, he'll tell me to remove this junk. Well, that conversation was as short as they come. Exactly 15 seconds. And it went like this. Hey, sir, you have some aftermarket crap in your car. Should I... Oh, just remove it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just remove it. was quite a task. That's what we have now. This one will connect to my cover here, but the rest is factory, just like the vehicle gods intended. I still have some aftermarket wiring going under there. I'm not going to look for that. I don't know what that is. And we still have some down here. This I'm going to clean up because some of these wires may be hot and I need to remove them and tape up the harness. In fact, let me do that now before I start the car. Or do I just... I'm wondering. Okay, just in case I don't want to short anything, let me take care of this. Alright, I've taken care of that. Now let's go connect our battery. Curious to see what our current draw now will be. There's all our junk. Okay, connected. Looking kind of promising. I have to let the cat go sleep. Just want to make sure that I've connected my connector, which I have. Right. Let's just wait. Appears we still have a current draw of 100 milliamps. The question is, are we still drawing from YE, which is our dome fuse? Now, should I pull it from here or should I pull the fuse at the front? Let me pull the dome fuse at the front. So we're live. Let's go to our dome fuse. I'm wondering whether we are pulling from our dome or we are pulling from the ECUB. I'm going to pull it. Focus you on the meter. 3, 2, 1, pulled. Okay, so that's our dome fuse pulled. There we go. And we've dropped down to our nominal 89 milliamps. That's from the ECUB. So that's a different problem. Let me put the dome fuse back. And with the dome fuse back, we are drawing 100 milliamps. So let's find out again, is it coming from YE? Let's go to YE. So let's pull YE again. Look how easy it is to get to it without all this crap in the way. YE is pulled. What do we have? Check that out. We no longer are pulling from YE. Now, oh, remember we still have our issue with the cluster. I bet you some of that current is through the cluster, but we do not know. Let us go to GA5 because we know that we are not pulling from YE. There's YE at the front. YE is there. Let's just pull YE. YE is right here. Pull YE and nothing doing. We still have our draw, and I have a weird shadow there, but yeah, we still have our draw. So we are not on YE or YE. anymore. I'm happy with that. At least the junk is off the circuit. Is this just our door ajar light that is funky? So I want to kill this cluster. Before we do too much, you just want to see whether this car will start. By the way, remember to remove your meter from there and you put the battery post back, otherwise you'll kill your fuse. Very nice. We're starting. Okay. I'm happy with that, which means our wiring is restored. Now, let's find out where our current draw is. So GA5 is here. That's this location here. But I want to identify my connector. So I come here to connector view. And let me search GA5. That's GA5. Open it. And it's a 12-pin connector. And our wire of interest is pin number 4. And it is red. So that is pin 4 here. Let's look for this connector and disconnect it. We're still doing around 5 amps. Let's look for GA5. That is GA5. This one here. So I'm going to disconnect it. So I'm going to focus you on the cluster as I disconnect this. So there's the cluster. I'm about to disconnect. 3, 2, 1, and disconnected. Yep, off. And check out our current draw. 0.089. 0.09. So this, remember, was coming from ECUB, which we can confirm very quickly. We still have our flashing key detection. I have no problem with that. That's normal. Let's go to the battery and we'll disconnect ECUB now. Alright, so we've solved our dome fuse issue. Let's go to ECUB, which was this one. And I'm going to pull that. Let's focus here. 3, 2, 1, pull. Oh, sweet. And we go down to 0.024 amps. Beautiful. 1918. Excellent. So now we have another draw on ECUB. What could this be? Now before we go, that door ajar warning is disturbing me. We could have a circuit problem, or a very quick test is one of our switches may be bad. So let me go around and quickly disconnect the switches one by one. But I think I know which one I will start with. I'll start with the rear switch, the rear door switch. I'll tell you why. That door is usually slammed a lot when people are closing the boot, and it could be that that switch is just broken. So that's where we're going to start. If it's not that one, we are going to disconnect the others one by one. Now you may wonder, why have I chosen to start with the back here? Well, what do you see? I see a big old tire. And where there's a big old tire, there's a bunch of weight. And where there's a bunch of weight, plus people who are enthusiastic in closing doors, this door tends to be slammed. And when you slam this door, what happens? You hammer this switch. So I just want to remove this switch. Right, switch is removed. Let's go see. So we still are ajar. I've already connected back everything. What I'm going to do is close this switch here, and look at that. So I'm opening, closing, opening, closing, open, close, open, close. We're done. we have a broken door switch at the back here. Now this is going to be a liability. What I want to do is just unplug it and leave it unplugged. We're going to get a new one, but this is broken. It's latching all the time. All right, final check. All our doors are closed and we have no door ajar warning. Take the key out. Keys out. We just have the flashing key warning light. That one goes away after some time. And let's look at our current drawer. Now we should be left with only the ECUB current drawer. Oh, would you look at that? Wait a minute. You telling me that that door ajar was keeping this car from going to sleep? Sure looks that way. I think we're done here. So I'll just wait for this car to go to sleep, but that is a good number. It's still going down. My key is out. Let's wait for the car to go to sleep. Another lesson, I guess. And look at that, with all our fuses in, that is our current drawer. Very interesting. So that door ajar at the back was keeping this car from going to sleep completely. That is why our ECUB line was active. We are done with this car. I like this. So the lesson is, when you have seemingly two current drawers, deal with the major one first, just like we did here. Then after you deal with the major one, check your circuit again. In this case, we don't have to do anything more. This car is good to go. Another one for the books. Until next time.